Hello, Brynyulf. This is my character, Wingod Ravencroft. I am doing this video for you to show you my Black Mage rotation. I will say that Black Mage's rotations are different depending on the person. Everybody's going to have an opinion on which rotation is the best or the most efficient, and me personally, I don't really conform to that. Like, I use the rotation I feel that is best for me, because everybody plays differently their own characters. I'm sure you know this very well. At any rate, I'm here outside of Castrum Oriens in, the Stormblood area. This is the area that just came to mind as far as giving this video a shot for you. I'm gonna try not to ramble on. I do have a habit of that, but I'll try to make this video as efficient as I can. This is my Black Mage. Once again, Wingod Ravencroft. He's an Elezen. Biggest ears that the model allows. He's the tallest height that the model allows. And he originally had black hair, but over time I made him have the dual colored hair of black and white, and then I had him do white last month, and this is just to signify that my character is getting older. So yeah, the weapon I'm using is the augmented Law's Order Rod. This is from the current relic. This is at the current step that the relic is at now. It is actually not the strongest rod. The strongest rod would actually be the Tombstone Gear rod, but this is actually 5 points lower than the strongest rod, because the stronger rod would be this Criplunker's rod, until of course you get to augment it, and then the Law's Order rod is, if I can find it here, I'll just do this will be faster, is 515, whereas the Criplunker's rod is 520. So not that much of a decrease in power, but you can later on materia it out the wazoo. So you would be able to make it better. Any rate, let me get with the subject at hand. Anyway, let's go to actions and traits here. My Black Mage is level 80. All my combat classes are level 80. Every time the level cap raises, I always go through and systematically level up each class, which takes a bit of time, but it opens up your options as well. Anyway, for my rotation anyway, what you would have to remember is fire, and that depends on if it's single target or multi-target rotation. Thunder and Thunder 2, once again, if it's single target or multi-target. Fire 3, but I only do fire 3s in 2 situations. One is if I get the Fire Starter proc, which is this additional effect, 40% chance for the next max fire 3, costs no MP, have no cast time. Or if I get this trait here of Aspect Mastery. It says accumulating full stacks of either Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, then casting a spell of the opposite element will consume no MP. So when you're doing a rotation, mainly when you're doing your fire part of your rotation, you'll run out of MP, but this will allow you at level 72 to cast the any blizzard spell that's not Blizzard 4, unfortunately, but like your Blizzard 1, 2, or 3, you will be able to cast that with no MP cost. And it will lead you into your ice part of your rotation, so it flows nicely. Alright, other than that, Fire 2s, but Fire 2s become kind of obsolete as you get higher in level, and mainly because when you start getting stacks of Astral Fire, fire spells will increase in potency, but will also cost more MP. Right now, Fire 2, just casting it without any stacks of Astral Fire is 1500 MP, but it gets up to 3000 MP. And if you only have 10,000 MP in your fire rotation, that just will kill your MP really quickly. So later on, you replace Fire 2s with Freeze. Freeze doesn't have that high of potency, but it will, one, keep your Umbral ice stacks going, and two, each time you cast Freeze, it will give you a Umbral Heart. Now, an Umbral Heart, what that does is that if you have to cast a fire spell, if you have an Umbral Heart, it will reduce that MP cost by 1/3. Or it will revert it back to its original cost, sorry. In the case of Flare, which is a part of your Aoe rotation, but at lower levels it's also a part of your single target rotation, which I will demonstrate that later. It will decrease Flare's cost by 1/3 per Umbral Heart. But it will still always have a cost. It will not reduce the cost of Flare to 0, which sucks, because that was something that I raised Cain about to the dev team, because under Aspect Mastery in the traits, if I'm casting, if I have 0 MP, and if I'm in Umbral Ice, Flare as a fire spell should be free, but it's not. It will cost MP. When you have an Umbral Heart, it will, reduce it down by whatever percentage. And then you can cast it again after that, but once you cast it again, it will take your remaining MP. Because the base cost of Flare is all your MP, technically. But you can cast Flare at about 1500 MP, which they don't really state. Like, it does have a minimal cost other than it taking all your MP. It will take all your MP, but you need at least like 1500 to like 2000 to cast it. And I know that's weird, but that's how it is. Mana Font restores 30% of your maximum MP. Back then, Mana Font used to do that at the expense of taking the equal amount of HP from you, but it doesn't now. That's something that they changed when they overhauled all the classes and yada yada yada. Blizzard 3, if it's a single target, Blizzard 3's there, basically. Ley Lines, of course, Ley Lines is something you get at 52. Ley Lines says that while you're standing in it, it reduces your cast time and recast time by 15%, I'm sorry. It will help you at times. Now, Ley Lines isn't like Tenchi Jin for Ninja. In Ninja, when you do Tenchi Jin, you have to stay in the area to get the effect. If you leave, it goes away. Leons will stay there for the entire 30 seconds. If you have to move, because there's an AoE coming, you can use this skill called Between the Lines, this here, and this will basically teleport you right to your ley lines, so long as it is still active, so you can get back there. Fire 4 and Blizzard 4, of course, are a part of the rotation. If it's single target, Enokin or Nochin, people say it both, but Nokin is what allows you to do Fire 4, Blizzard 4, Despair, and Umbral Soul, which comes later. Thunder 4 and Thunder, I believe it's Thunder 4 and Thunder 2 are AoEs, so that consider for the Aoe Rotation. Triple cast lets your next 3 spells be cast with no cast time, so it makes your next 3 spells instant cast. Your spells will still cost MP, so be mindful of that, but it will reduce your cast times to 0 for your next 3 spells after you cast triple cast. Foul is your level 70 spell that you get, which you need a special stack of a gauge to cast, as well as Xenoglossy, which you get at level 80. But Foul is an AoE spell, and Xenoglossy is a single target spell. So Area Rotation, single target rotation. Despair is a major fire potency spell, and it actually does 100%, no matter what, take all your MP. Doesn't matter. It's not under the same hidden effect as Flare. Like, it will take all your MP no matter what. Umbral Soul is very useful. What it does is, while you're under the effect of Umbral Ice, it will refresh your timer of Umbral Ice, which is basically the timer of a Nokian, and it will grant you Run Umbral Heart. You can cast that anytime you're in Umbral Ice. It's instant cast, and it has a very short recast. So, there's that. Swiftcast is part of the rotation, and I will show you, actually. So I think I'm ready here now. So when you get to level 50, your rotation pretty much will be this. You do fires. If you have a fire starter proc, do it. But keep on your MP. Then at this point, you can do one more fire, and then you'll be doing you'll cast a flare. And then what I do is I'll Swiftcast, Mana Font, another flare. Then I'll transpose, and then I'll just start casting blizzards at this point, Blizzard 3s. Now, unfortunately, Blizzard doesn't have a proc. Fire has a fire starter proc, Thunder has a thunderstorm proc, but Fire does not have a fire starter proc. Now, after your MP gets back up, then you will transpose back to Fire, and then just cast fires until, you know, you get down enough to cast your flare. Casting fire starter procs as needed, and then do your flare, and then transpose, and then start with blizzard again. You can swift cast a flare there, but you cannot do 2 flares in a row after that first time for a while because of Mana Font being on cooldown. But once Mana Font is able to be used, you can dual flare again. Alright. And that's essentially how that goes for that. That's the rotation I was using mainly during Realm Reborn because at Realm Reborn max level was 50. I could show you right quick what I was talking about Fire 2s costing so much. So like if you want to do an Aoe rotation, you know, I would normally start with Fire 2s, but you see it's 15 and then 3k and then another 3k, and then at that point you could do a flare or a swift cast flare and then transpose. But I kind of stopped using Fire 2s in my AoE rotations because the MP would be too taxing. So I started using freezes instead, which, you know, would be, you know, freeze, you know, freeze, you know, transpose, and then, you know, do whatever you'd like as far as that is concerned, which normally for me would be the weird single target mix in, but you know, do that. Now this isn't, I know this rotation seems weird. Like I said, that's just the way I would do it. This is before you get a no-chin and all that stuff. Oh yeah, make sure you do start your rotations. If it's an AoE rotation, start out with, it'd be Thunder 2 or 4. If it's a single target rotation, start out with Thunder 1 or 3. So you get that, you know, AoE damage. That Thunder was instant cast because I had a Thunder starter proc in the middle of casting it, so it just cast it. The effects of the Thunder starter proc, let me get away here so this music stops playing. But what the Thunder starter, or what the Thunderstorm proc does is that it allows your Thunder Cloud, it allows your Thunder spell to 1, be instant cast, 2, it will deal its full damage upon impact, and then it will still do the additional damage over time. So it's basically 3 times as powerful in the way you can say it. Well, trying to get this music cut off, but I guess it just won't. I guess I'll just continue on then. So, single target, Thunder, Fire. You see I got a Fire starter proc, so I'll just do a Fire 3 there. I got a Thundercloud proc, so you can do that pretty much at any point you'd like. There's another fire starter proc. So, doing one more fire. Doing flare, hardcast, swiftcast, Manafont, flare, transpose. And then you can do Blizzard 3s. You get a Thunder Starter, you get a Thundercloud proc, cast it. Then once your MP goes back up, transpose. Fire 1. I got a fire starter proc, so I did the fire starter proc. And let my stacks of fire go up. Got a Thundercloud proc, so I'll just throw that out for Sherry and giggles. Got Thundercloud proc again, so I'll just do it again. Most people would say do your Thunderclouds before the timer runs out, but they pretty much give them to you like candy, so you can afford to do it anytime you like. Now if you want to, in your single target rotation, you can transpose, do a fire 3 to get maximum stacks of Astro Fire, and then you can do your fire 3s. I mean your fire 1s. I usually just stick with fire 1s at first because, you know, the fire starter proc, they just give that to you like candy. And then hardcast flare. Alright, now for the Aoe rotation, once again, very sorry for rambling, very, very sorry. Aoe rotation, start with Thunder 4. Do your freezes. Then at this point, transpose. If you want to, you can do some fire 2s. Like I said, but it just burns out your MP so dang quickly. At this point, you would flare. Or Swiftcast flare. And then transpose. And then start again with Thunder 2 or Thunder 4, do your freezes until your MP gets back up. Switch on over, do your fire 2s or your fire 1s. You can see I'm doing a lot of damage. These are level 60 striking dummies, of course. So I'm at level 80, so much higher than they are. But the damage, as you know, on Black Mage is insane. Now, at level 60, that's when you get your Enochian. You know, you've already had your Enochian, and you've had your Blizzard 4 and Fire 4s. So what you would do in this one is single target and multi-target is kind of the same, actually. It all depends on where you want the damage to go, and how you want to do it. Once you get Fire 4 and Blizzard 4, I think that you should kind of skip the Fire 2s and just kind of single target with Blizzard with a freeze if you want to throw some AoE there, or Blizzard 4 and Fire 4s just burst a person down individually, because you will do it quickly as a Black Mage. So, but anyway, what you would do is, I usually start off with Blizzard 3. Enochian gets up, cast it, do a Thunder 3 or Thunder 4. Then do your Blizzards. Now, switch over. Do your Fire Force. Now, throw a fire in the middle of it, and I'll explain why in a bit. Now at this point, you can throw a flare in there. And then transpose. And then if you want to go to Ice Rotation, you can. Sorry for getting my Thunder 4s. Transpose back. I'm gonna throw a fire in there. And then you would flare. Swiftcast flare anytime you can to shorten that time, because flare's cast time is atrocious, as you can see. Now, that's what I was using at level 60. If you wanted to speed that cast up, you can also cast ley lines, put a ley line there, so you can cast your, speed up your cast time. Now, when you get to level 70, you will have unlocked triple cast and, you know, Thunder 4 and Foul. Foul is the AoE. So at this point, your Aoe rotation kind of sort of changes, but only when Foul is allowed. You can only cast Foul when you have stacks of Polyglot. You can only gain stacks of Polyglot when you've had a Nochian up for 30 seconds. Polyglot are these little 2 purple diamonds at the bottom of your Black Mage gauge here that are flashing. These do not go away unless you die. So as you can see, a Nochian has fallen off, but I still have these stacks. So I can cast Foul at any now without even having a Nochian up. A Nochian does increase your magic damage though, so try to have it up as much as you can. So you can do your Blizzard 4s and Fire 4s as well as having your increased damage. So, but right now I can cast Foul without having a Nochian up, so long as I have a stack of Polyglot up. Foul, as you can see, does have a cast time. Once again, you can start off with Freeze, or Blizzard, or Thunder, depending on just what your rotation is. So, your Thunder 4s, Freeze, Nochian, do freezes until my MP goes back up. There's a Thunder Starter proc, so I'll just Thundercloud proc, so I'll just recast it. And then you go from there from your rotations. Let me check one thing right quick. Okay, yeah. By 70, you've been to learn triple cast. So, if it's an AoE, or you're doing a single target how it would go for me here at that point. Thunder, Blizzard, Enochian. Do your fire if you get a fire starter proc through 3. Then do triple cast. That's weird. My fire 4s aren't showing up. Okay. Let me wait on that. Yeah, I had Enochian up. It just for some reason wouldn't do fire 4s until I cast it again. That was very weird. But let me wait until triple cast gets back up, and I'll show you something. Alright, there we go. Alright, so Thunder, Blizzard, Enochian. Alright, you can start casting some Blizzard 4s. Transpose. You can cast a fire 3 here. If you get that, get your full stacks of Astral Fire. Triple cast. Instant cast fire 4. Instant cast fire 4. Instant cast fire 4. Then do a fire 1. If you want to here, you can do your ley lines. Do my fire 4. At this point, you can do your flares. Do foul. Foul actually costs no MP to cast. It just costs a stack of Polyglot. Switch on back, and and then you can, do your whichever rotation you like in that situation. All right, now. One thing that I should explain is that during the Fire 4s and Blizzard 4s, while I was still casting Fire 1s, is because normally in your stacks of Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, when you cast a Blizzard spell or a Fire spell, it will reset the duration of your Enochian or your Astral Fire or your Umbral Ice, except when casting Fire 4 or Blizzard 4. If I did Enochian and you see that my timer there, it does not increase the duration, it just runs out. And the same will be if you were doing Fire 4s. It will not increase the duration of your Enochian. It will get you your Astral Fire stacks and Umbral Ice stacks, but it will not reset the duration of it at all. Also, keep in mind, you do need at least one stack of Astral Fire or Umbral Ice to supposedly to cast to cast Fire 4 and Blizzard 4. I have no idea why it's not casting here. That might be a bug. But you see the timer's not going down. But when I cast a fire, it'll go back up to normal. That's also too where your fire starter procs for your fire 3s will help you out. If your stacks are falling off, or if your timer's going away, you can just instant cast a fire 3 to do your stack back. Alright. Now, once you get to level 80, you will have been and had Despair, Umbral Soul, and Xenoglossy. You also will have had your Aspect Mastery. And the purpose is that once again, Aspect Mastery allows for two things. One, if you have no MP and you have full stacks of either Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, which you can see the little 3 ice crystals there. I'm gonna go to fire right quick. And get my MP down. Which is gonna cast a flare here right quick. Flare will reset your stacks of Astral Fire. Now you see I have no MP. None whatsoever. It's gone. But I can still cast a Blizzard 3. Now, that's the main thing it does. The secondary thing that it does is that when you have full stacks of either Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, you can cast the opposite element spell at it decreased cast time. Because normally, fire 3s are like that, right? Blizzard 3s, full stacks of Astral Fire, increased or decreased cast time. Normally, it's like that. So, do it down, and it's decreased cast time. It also works for flare. So keep that in mind as well. It will shorten the cast time of flare. So if you need to do your Aoe rotation for that. So my full rotation, be it single target, is this. I probably should have waited until I had my MP refill back, so give me a second. Let my MP get up. Alright. So max level rotation, at least for me, I have a Thundercloud proc, so I'll do that. And that. Do some Blizzard Force. Now my Enochian for Blizzard almost fell off, so I did Umbral Soul, which is this, and it will reset it every single time, and it will give you an Umbral Heart. So if you're not doing anything, or if it's about to fall off, you can throw in an Umbral Soul. Now you can only do Umbral Soul while you're under the effect of Umbral Ice. For some reason, the devs and their wisdom said you can't do Umbral Soul in Astral Fire to keep your Enochian going. So you have to be Umbral Ice to do it. So basically at level 70 or level 80, you become basically just like an Ice and Fire Mage. So, Blizzard Force. I'll do a Fire 3 at decreased cast time to get max stacks of Astral Fire. I'll do triple cast, do 3 instant cast Fire Force. If my Astral Fire stacks are about to fall off, I'll use one of those instant cast stacks to cast a Fire 1 right quick to keep the damage going, keep it high. And throw in Fire 1s as necessary. You can throw in, at level 80 you get Xenoglossy. And then you can throw those in at any time. Xenoglossy is instant cast and single target, and it does a lot of damage. Wow, this is actually more difficult explaining than I thought. Anyway, let me get my MP back up. Alright. Alright, and that's the multi-targeted rotation. Ah, crap. Let my Nokian fall off, I'm sorry. Alright. Do your freezes if it's Aoe rotation. Then when you're ready, just do a Fire 3 if you want to switch over to using Fire Force. You can do a freeze at any point to switch over as needed. When your procs get up, if it's AoE, you can do Foul. Foul does have a cast time, so remember that. Now, something that's weird, and this is something that I do, is in the AoE rotation, do freezes until you're satisfied. Make sure you have 3 Umbral Hearts, which are these little blue spindles at the bottom left of this little circle in my gauge. And then you flare once, flare twice, Swiftcast, Manafont, flare a 3rd time. Do a foul, 2 fouls, whatever you got. And then, because of Aspect Mastery, I can do a freeze for free. Once again, very sorry if all that is confusing. Very sorry. Like, I can't apologize enough because I understand that the way I explain things can be a bit confusing and a bit weird, but that's basically it. Now, as some bonus content, I guess would be the word, bonus content, let me get away and let the enemies reset. Okay. Bonus content. I know you kind of feel like you may not pick up this class, but this is Astrologian. You may have seen it or seen enough of it, but Astrologian is a healer. It's a I don't know, I guess it's a barrier healer. It can be a pure healer as well. Fits both archetypes, depending on what sect you use. Diurnal sect gives you healing over time to certain healing effects, and Nocturnal sect gives you barrier to certain healing effects. Their main shtick are cards. You use draw. You draw one of 6 cards. All right. This card here is called the Spire. Spire increases the damage of your ranged DPS characters and caster DPS characters. And you can cast it on anyone, including yourself. So, but there are 6 cards, and I think I can show you here. Yeah. So Balance, Arrow, and Spear. They increase the damage of physical DPSs and tanks. So, you know, tanks like Dark Knight and Gunbreaker and Paladin, and, you know, melee DPSs like Ninja and Monk and Dragoon. Bowl, Ewer, and Spire increases the damage of ranged DPSs. And casters. So, Bard, Machinist, but some people call it Machinist. I like calling it Machinist. You know, Black Mage, Red Mage, stuff like that. These 2 cards here are Lord of Crowns and Lady of Crowns. Lord of Crowns will increase the attack of, once again, the tanks and melee DPSs just at a higher amount. You know, these 3 will increase it at 6%. This will increase it at 8%. Lady of Crowns does the same for your range and your casters by 8%, whereas these do it by 6%. The hidden effects of these cards is that they have a seal connected to them. This one has a Balance and Bowl has a solar seal, which is a little sun that will pop up only during battle. Which, let me just hit this enemy right quick. All right, so that's Arrow. See, Arrow is drawn, but you see a little symbol above the arrow. It's a little crescent moon. That's a lunar seal. Cast it on me. At the top, you see that moon went from the card to the little diamond there. So, the Spear and Spire will give a Celestial Seal, which is, I believe, a full moon. Now you hear I popped the arrow again. If you don't want that draw, you can use what's called Redraw, and you'll redraw another random card. That one is Spire with the little blue symbol, blue little circle. Cast it on me. That goes up there, pushing the crescent moon aside to the next space over. And that will be your Celestial Seal. Spear does a Celestial Seal, but I don't want that, so I skip over. Gives me Arrow, which is a Lunar Seal, don't want that. Gives me Spear again, which is a Celestial Seal, don't want that. Alright, so there's Balance. Above Balance, there's a sun above the sun. And that is your Solar Seal. And cast that. And moves over the other 2, filling in the space of the last. All 3 symbols are there, and they're all shining. That allows you to use a skill called Divination. Use Divination. It's a AoE that increases all your party members' attack by by 6% if you have one of each seal, 5% if you have two different seals, and 4% if you just have all of one seal. So 3 seals, 6%. Each of the seals are different. If you have one lunar, one solar, and one celestial seal. If you have where 2 of the seals are the same, so I have a lunar seal there. And then if I have to cast it again, like I draw again and I get another card for lunar seal, then it will be, or a different seal, sorry. Then that will be on the right track to having the two seal type. So like if I cast it, if I do draw again and I get a solar seal or a lunar seal and I decide to cast it, be it on purpose or accident, then see, there's another solar seal. I have 2 different seals. I have 3 seals total, but 2 different seals. I can still do divination, but it would be the 4 seal or the 2 seal version, which would just be the 5%. Something you can do to help you out at getting your 3 seals outside of redraw. Well, there are 2 things, maybe 3, but 2, but at least 2. I'm sorry, I'm just waiting for the redraw timer to get back up. Now, if you don't want to risk drawing and getting another lunar seal, celestial seal, you could do sleeve draw, and it will automatically give you the card with the seal that you're missing. And then you can do your divination when it's able to be used. That effect for sleeve draw is actually new. What sleeve draw used to do is that it used to fill your entirety of your gauge here. Basically, it used to give you stacks of draw, so you can cast out multiple cards in succession to everybody instead of having to wait for divination. They changed that to what sleeve draw is now, which is giving you the card of the seal that you're missing, along with the change of every time you draw a card, you get MP back. That is new too. That didn't used to happen. Like Astrologian, when it came out, was busted, and not the good busted. It was the bad busted, and then they changed it to by moving the effects of the cards around, which made it a bit better. And then when Shadowbringers came out, they changed it to where the cards all have the effect of increasing the attack of either your ranged or your melee, because each card used to have a different effect, believe it or not. And I actually miss the old way. So But that's Astrologian. Just a little bit. Let the thing reset, and I'll give you one more. Just one more. I'm very sorry for this video being so long. It's like almost an hour. I'm gonna switch to Gunbreaker right quick. This weapon is the relic weapon, but it's not at the current step. It's at like 1 to 2 steps behind. So.
Can't escape from crossing fate.
But anyway.
Can't escape from crossing fate.
I'm not gonna talk much. I'm just gonna do some stuff and let you marvel at it. Alright, and that's it. That's all I got for you. This video is going on long enough. Very sorry for it being so long. Very sorry for the way I've explained it. It's a lot. Watch the video at your leisure. Any parts during your leisure. If you have any questions, I'll try to pop back in your stream at points when you stream and be there for you to answer some questions for you. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed it at least a little bit. I hope it helped you out at least a little bit. If it's done at least a little bit of help, then I'm happy. If you'd like me to do any more videos for you, I will. Just let me know somehow and I will do one and try to make it shorter. Once again, very sorry for the length and the explanation. Anyway, thank you. Have a good one.